2. A friendly woman with a warm smile took the bait. Of course, brother. Duyen Lan isn't just old, it's unclean. Locals like us never stay there, only tourists get fooled. Unclean? You mean bad hygiene? I asked, feigning curiosity as I sipped my water, my eyes gleaming. She glanced around and lowered her voice. Not hygiene, brother. That hotel is for ghosts. We've lived here for years, and some nights we see shadows gliding by, but no one dares talk about it openly. I was thrilled but kept my composure. Ghosts? Did someone die there? She hesitated, scratching her head with an awkward smile. No deaths, but everyone says it's bad luck. Think about it, a hotel that's always empty, yet the owner's filthy rich. Where's the money coming from? I visited other nearby shops, from a fragrant rice paper stall to a flower stand. Everyone said Duyen Lan was problematic, but no one could give specifics. Only a strawberry vendor with a thick accent hinted, that hotel has terrible service and is only busy during Tet holidays. Otherwise it's deserted. Yet the owner, Tran Duyen Lan, spends money like water and built a mansion. Where's the money from? Probably from ghosts or something shady. Further inquiries yielded nothing new. That evening, Thao Lin returned, her face full of suspicion, her eyes sparkling. Teacher Tham, I booked room 212 next to 214, but something's off. The receptionist said the hotel was nearly full, but it was dead quiet, no one around.
The whole corridor was silent.
I checked my phone's calendar. It's not tourist season, and there are no festivals or events. For a mediocre hotel like Duyen Lan to be nearly full? Locals say it's for ghosts, and combined with Kwok An and Hami's story, this is getting more intriguing. That night, Thao Lin and I sneaked into Duyen Lan's guest room area. In room 212, I hung my jacket on a hook and began inspecting the surroundings. Thao Lin stood by the door, tense, and said seriously, Teacher, this is just for work. Don't get any funny ideas. I'm a girl, and you're my teacher, keep your distance. Good grief, with ghost rumors about this place, you're worried about that. I shot her a glance, thinking I'd been too lenient lately and needed to reassert my authority. Relax, I'm only interested in the truth, not nonsense. I thoroughly checked the room. The stained mattress, the creaky wardrobe, the walls with old carvings. Nothing unusual, except an inexplicable chill. I went to the corridor and tapped the walls to test the sound, but Thao Lin said the soundproofing was good, barely letting outside noises through. At the end of the corridor, next to room 214, was a small storage closet with a broken door that wouldn't close. Containing only 3 brooms, 2 mops, and some cleaning supplies, no space for anyone to hide. The corridor was eerily quiet, all rooms locked, with no sign of guests or even cleaning staff. Strange tourists should be back by now, so why claim the hotel was nearly full? The silence was broken only by the wind whistling through a door crack. With lingering doubts, I returned to the room, sitting at the desk under the dim yellow lamp to organize my clues. But the pieces didn't fit. I considered confronting the hotel owner, Tran Duyen Lan, but would that expose my intentions? Laughing at myself, I realized I'd been covering too many criminal cases lately, making me see everyone as a suspect, even an ordinary hotel owner. I turned to discuss with Thao Lin, only to find her asleep on the bed, the thin blanket slipping off her shoulder, her delicate face showing signs of exhaustion. I'd been lost in thought for over 2 hours, time flew. Smiling wryly, I approached to cover her with the blanket, a teacherly gesture of care. Just then, chaotic footsteps echoed in the corridor. Despite the good soundproofing, the steps were loud, suggesting urgency. They were heavy, each one creaking the old wooden floor. Thao Lin jolted awake, seeing me leaning close to her bed, her eyes wide with panic. I had no time to explain, glaring at her to stay quiet and whispering, "I'll explain later," before tiptoeing to the door to peer through the peephole. The corridor was dim, the yellow light barely illuminating a corner. A figure emerged from the elevator, wearing a white hooded cloak and carrying a black wooden box on their back, walking quickly with a hunched posture due to the weight. They passed our room, heading toward 214. I recalled Kwok An's words, room 214 wasn't supposed to be rented out. So what was this person doing there? Lanh squeezed in, looking at the figure's back, her face pale as she whispered, "Is that funeral attire?" I froze. The long white cloak and hood resembled the mourning clothes worn at funerals in rural Vietnam, especially in the central or northern regions. The image sent my heart racing. A hotel with ghost rumors, a mysterious unrented room, and a figure in funeral attire. These three elements converging at midnight made even my bold spirit shiver. Due to the peephole's angle, the figure disappeared from view at 214's door. I only heard faint sounds of them opening the door, entering and closing it, the noise echoing in the silent corridor. Lanh and I exchanged glances, holding our breath, standing still, afraid to make a sound. Over 10 minutes later, the door opened again, and the figure in white passed by, heading to the elevator and vanishing. I wasn't sure if it was my imagination, but their shoulders seemed lighter. Once they were gone, despite Lanh's protests, I stepped out and stood before 214, frowning in thought. Who was the figure in white? What were they doing in 214? What secrets lay behind that door? I considered the simplest approach: open 214 and look inside. But I'm no thief and don't know how to pick locks. Breaking in would be foolish for a journalist, not a cop, and I'd be mortified if my police friend Chi Seeing caught me. I imagined him smirking, saying, "Min, are you a reporter or a burglar?" So, should I reveal my identity and demand the hotel open the door, or try another way? After weighing options, I decided it wasn't time to go public. I needed more clues to solidify my case. There was one other option. I told Lanh to return to the room while I headed to the elevator, intending to follow the figure in white to see what they did next. As I reached the elevator, the floor display lit up. Someone was coming up. I hesitated for less than a second before retreating to the nearby emergency exit, peering through a crack, my heart pounding. Ding! The elevator opened and a familiar figure stepped out, sneaking toward 214. It was Kai, the lobby manager. He pulled out a keycard but hesitated, taking deep breaths, clearly nervous. He checked his phone, the blue light illuminating his pale face, his eyes flickering with fear and curiosity. As he hesitated, the door to room 212 cracked open slightly. Lanh extended a selfie stick with her phone, trying to snap a photo. That reckless girl. I panicked, worried she'd be caught, but didn't dare speak, only signaling with my eyes. Lanh glanced at me defiantly, snapped the photo, and retreated, closing the door without Kiang noticing. I exhaled, my heart still racing, and continued watching. Kai ultimately lacked the courage, pocketing the keycard and leaving via the elevator. I rushed back to 212, scolding Lanh. That was dangerous. Why didn't you consult me? What if you'd been caught? Do you think this is a game? Lanh huffed, indignant. You went after the figure in white without asking me. I'm an intern, not a kid. Then, excitedly, she showed me her phone. Look what I got, teacher. I sighed, saying sternly, Lanh, you have a knack for investigation and a bold spirit. You'll be a great journalist someday. But be more careful next time, got it? Then I looked at the photo. It was perfectly angled, showing not only Key's face, but also his phone screen. A video with a strange angle, recorded from a hidden corner of a room. Lanh squinted. This video's from Duyen, but something's off. It's too blurry to make out. Is it room 214, teacher? It hit me, and I explained, the video's content isn't the point. The app's interface is... It's a foreign app for real-time surveillance with tiny cameras, high-end stuff. Key's been secretly recording rooms. Is he behind the ghost rumors? Lanh nodded, but frowned, her eyes playful. Teacher Tham, how do you know about this stuff? Do all journalists know, or do you have some secret? As an investigative journalist, isn't it normal to know this? Watch it, or I'll dock your internship points. I replied sternly, half joking. Lanh gave me a look, but didn't press, flashing a mischievous smile. It seemed Kai was highly suspicious. Were the ghost rumors his doing, using cameras to create spooky effects? Or was there a bigger secret? The next morning, Lanh, excited, dragged me to confront Kai. Though I had doubts, the evidence was clear, so I agreed. We cornered him in a quiet spot where no one would pass by. Kai, recognizing me, was annoyed. Mr. Tham, the guests are satisfied. Why are you still here? Want coffee? Go elsewhere and stop bothering us. I smiled, showing him Thao Lin's photo. Kai, do you know how many years you can get for installing hidden cameras in hotel rooms? The police are familiar with this crime.